Welcome to the 8th edition of World Intellectual Property Forum.
I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak in this conference organized by World IP Forum. Today I shall be sharing my thoughts on access to affordable medicines in India and the effect of TRIPS. According to World Health Organization estimates, one-third of the world's inhabitants are living in poorest of African and Asian countries and are still short of essential drugs. Reasons could be many. One of the major formidable one is high price of the patented medicines. The high price of patented medicines could be having various elements such as high cost of their R&D, drug development, their manufacture, and maintaining the quality criteria, and marketing. Trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights in the form of TRIPS agreement was effected on 1st January 1995. Many nations signed to it, and India also was one of them. Many eminent IP experts from the industry, IP practitioners, regulatory personnel, and government officials had expressed concern about increase in drug prices, discouragement in R&D, limited manufacturing of drugs, and restriction of competition that may impact the access to drugs and new technologies. To curtail the possible adverse impact of patents on access to medicines, flexibilities have been provided in the TRIPS agreement. These flexibilities include certain provisions in the TRIPS agreement which the member countries had to follow and amend their domestic IPR laws to become TRIPS compliant. The flexibilities include bringing the patent term to 20 years, and all pharmaceutical patents would be of product patent also, besides process patent. And Bowler exceptions, parallel import, and defining the patentability criteria, these flexibilities allowed the member nations to make those changes in their own patent acts. So accordingly, India also brought their patent term to 20 years by amendments in the Patent Act, and even in the case of pharmaceuticals. Why I am saying so? Because earlier, in the pre-TRIPS era, the patent life was only, for pharmaceuticals, was only 7 years. And that too only process patents were allowed. Product patents were not introduced yet. Due to this problem, the foreign MNCs who would launch new drugs abroad but would not launch in India for fear of getting infringement. So the re-engineering cannot happen by another route, and their medicines will not be selling then in India. But this caused problems for the patients also, because then they did not have any access to the newer medicines. So when the patent law was amended and product patents in pharmaceuticals was brought around along with the process patents, then the situation of access to the new medicines became better. Similarly, another provision is that the member countries can define the patentability criteria according to the condition of their countries. So we in India, besides the patent term brought to 20 years and having a 20 years life, product patents also, The patentability criteria was defined. Patenting was not allowed for such inventions which were uh, against the morality and which were not in conformity with our framework, so which had such criteria which would not follow the satisfy the novelty, inventive step, and industrial application clauses. Further, to raise the threshold of patentability, certain types of inventions were excluded from patenting. That is, already said that frivolous inventions and the inventions that were detrimental to plant life, human life, and animal life, and that affect the national security, and patenting of incremental inventions called patent evergreening. In India, Section 3D of Patent Act excludes the incremental inventions and does not allow evergreening of the patents. Thus, this had an impact on patentability by preventing evergreening. So the genuine innovators were protected this way, and genuine inventions which were significantly different from prior art got the patent rights. Section 3D excludes patenting of new forms, discovery of new property, and new use of substance already in existence. Further, esters, ethers, polymorphs, salts, metabolites, pure form, particle size, isomers, mixtures of isomers, complexes, combinations, and other derivatives which already exist in public domain and are considered to be the same substance unless they show a significant therapeutic efficacy in the clinical studies. As an example, the Novartis case I will cite. Novartis company, they claimed beta polymorphic form of imatinib mesylate salt in the Indian patent application for its anti-cancer formulation to used in the treatment of chronic myeloid leukemia. The provisions of product patents were not available till 2005, and Novartis application was a mailbox application. In the meantime, Novartis applied for EMR and obtained it in uh, 2003 for 5 years. The anti-cancer drug was sold under the brand name Glivec, and this application was rejected under Section 3D of the Indian Patent Act on the basis that it was mere modification of the existing substance and the claimed substance was not showing any significant enhancement of therapeutic efficacy clinically. Another recent case is of Boehringer Ingelheim patent for respiratory drugs Spiriva, bearing patent application number 558 Del NP 2003, which was revoked under Section 3D on post-grant opposition by Cipla. Another provision in TRIPS is the use of compulsory license. That not only when the access to medicine is hindered by high price, but also in the case of national emergency when it is required as an extreme emergency. This is mentioned in Article 31 of TRIPS agreement. It is granted after 3 years from the date of patent grant to an invention subject to certain conditions when the reasonable need of the public is not satisfied because it is either too expensive or is not being worked or commercially produced in the territory of India. By utilizing such licenses, the pharmaceutical firms produce the generic version of the patented medicine or import the generic drug from the foreign pharmaceutical multinationals. There are certain conditions given under Article 31 of TRIPS for the issuance of CL. Case-by-case consideration for compulsory license applications, including applicants' capacity to work the invention and undertake the risk. Prior negotiations with the patentee is very important. One leading example is of a drug called Nexavar, which was manufactured by Bayer but its CL was issued in 2012 to a company, Indian company called Netco. Because of the same reasons that it was very expensive, the US drug was sold at US dollar 5500, while the Indian variant was just the same amount cost only 141 US dollar, and also it was not sufficiently available to the public, the patients in India. So this is that's why it was issued. And Bayer challenged the compulsory license to Nexavar in the Indian court but lost the case. And last, another flexibility of TRIPS is parallel import, which falls under Article 6 of TRIPS agreement. This exception is based on exhaustion of rights, and countries like India, Argentina, Malaysia, South Africa have parallel import provisions in their domestic laws, and that allow parallel import of patented goods from one country to another because of the difference in the price of the same drug. So this has been built in the domestic law that and allows parallel import of patented goods from the other countries without the consent of the patent owner. This in turn reduces the price, as there is a huge difference of price of similar drugs across various countries, and the policies provision combat the ill effect of robust IP enforcement as well as eliminates the unfair means using IP rights by IPR holder. The Bolar exception falls under Article 30 of TRIPS, and it allows members to provide for limited exceptions to the patent rights conferred by the patent, provided that such exceptions do not unreasonably conflict with the normal exploitation of the patent and do not unreasonably prejudice the legitimate interests of the patent holder, taking into account the legitimate interest of the third parties. The exceptions under this may include, for instance, limited manufacture of the patented drug to conduct specific tests and get regulatory approvals, request of marketing approvals for expiration of the patent without authorization of the patent holder for quick commercialization of generic version. Exclusivity provided through patents is accountable for high price of drugs, but generic or off-patent drugs are available at lower price, and even affording them at reduced prices would not be in physical reach of the poor patients or even by the healthcare campaigns organized by the countries. To conclude, I would like to stress the access of medicines for public at reasonable price is a serious concern in developing countries. The provisions laid down in TRIPS agreement and its impact on drug price is a matter of concern. Several recommendations, including strict patentability standards, have been mentioned to improve the affordability to the needy. Inclusions of the healthcare schemes that take care of hospital expenses, professional charges, and cost of drugs have minimal impact on the overall health of the public. Certain such schemes should be floated by the government and non-government organizations. For example, that Arogya schemes should be floated by the governmental and non-government organizations such as Ayushman Bharat, which has been recently started by the Government of India for the needy and poor patients.